opening statement first from Coach Caldwell ahead of Wednesday's game against Louisiana.
Yeah, short week for us. A little bit interesting to have a Saturday off in the middle of basketball season. Not sure what we'll do with that. But huge game on Wednesday. It's going to be our kids' day, and it's going to be really big for us against the Louisiana team that's playing really, really well right now.
Is that your first full-fledged kids' day? What's your experience with those kind of games?
Oh, they're great. They're great. I mean, everyone always talks about how much Education Day means to the kids, but I honestly think it probably means more to our student athletes than anyone, because they're loud, they're engaged, they're rowdy, and they scream for 40 minutes at a pitch that is incredible, and so it just kind of really amplifies the atmosphere for us.
Is that kind of needed as well? You're looking for a bounce back, just want to get back into the swing of things. And is that good to have that automatic loud crowd that's going to be there behind your team?
Absolutely. And anytime you can kind of have a shake-up when things get so routine and so monotonous in basketball season, late January, early February are kind of the dog days of basketball season. It's the same thing over and over and over. And so you try to shake things up a little bit, and that's just an automatic different game time, earlier shoot-around, bigger crowd. So I think it will be a nice little break for us.
How's that adjustment to the time of the game? Does that change? I mean, obviously, is it a few hours different? Right?
Yeah, well, I sat here, for a whole semester and complained about our 8 a.m. practice time. So, I mean, we should be used to getting up early in the morning and doing those things. And I think on game day, the energy is a little bit different. So once they're up and out of bed, give them about 30 minutes to wake up, we should be okay. At Georgia State, it took us about a quarter to wake up. So we'll see.
So what are some of the things you're focusing on this week? First time we're coming after a loss in conference. So, what's the rebound process like when you refocus them?
Yeah, I think we just got to come back with a sense of urgency. We've talked about a lot of things that have needed to be fixed, and they haven't been getting fixed. So we haven't watched the film. We're getting ready to go do that as a team. But maybe now there's a sense of urgency that it costs us a game, and they'll take us a little bit more seriously of these things need to be fixed. I have no doubt that they'll respond and they'll lock back in and they'll play hard, and they'll do everything they can today at practice and tomorrow at practice to get it fixed for Wednesday.
You never like to lose, but can you coach off of that and then kind of reinvigorate everybody?
Absolutely. I mean, we weren't going to win every game. We knew we weren't going to make it through this conference undefeated. And so when you look at the big picture, if we play JMU again, that's going to be the best loss that ever happened to us. And so there's not a crystal ball. You can't predict the future, but sometimes you need that. And it's hard to beat a team 3 times, and they're definitely a top team in the league. And if we can learn from it and we can respond from it, and I know that I have definitely identified some things that need to be fixed immediately, then, I mean, failure is just an opportunity for growth.
What's been your message to the team since Saturday so far?
Well, we were off yesterday. I talked to him briefly, just read him the stats, tried to keep my opinion out of it and read him the stats and the numbers. And then as soon as we're done here, we're going to watch the film and then try to translate what we see on the film to fixing it on the floor.
Coach, I realized they play with a lot of intensity during the game. Do you think they'll be able to keep that intensity towards the season?
I hope so. I think we lost it a little bit. And one of the things we have today are clips from earlier in the year and clips from our last game, and how the sense of urgency and how different we look in those games. And so we kind of need to get back to how we were before. And part of it's human nature. We weren't hitting shots, so we didn't really play with the pep in our step, and we got to find ways to do that too. But they better.
You mentioned having the Saturday off, and the men do too, just because they're not participating in the Max Sun Belt Challenge. How different do you do your schedule throughout the weekend because of that?
We're going to keep our same schedule, and we're going to really use this as an opportunity to get better. We're gonna be in the gym. We're gonna be working. We're gonna be taking strides to get better individually and to get better as a team. And I think it's an advantage for us, especially now. We really need to get better at some things. So we just got to make it through Wednesday, and Wednesday is going to be tough because they're playing very, very well. They just beat a very good ULM team at ULM, so they're playing great. So we gotta squeak through that one and then really use those days to get better.
It's kind of tough to pick up a non-conference game in the middle of February.
Yeah. We're good with it. We want to practice. We want to go against us. I mean, they may not be good with it, but I'm good with it. They probably want to play, but we'll use it.
Physically, does it help, Coach? Everybody's banged up a little bit this time of the year, though, right?
Yeah. It does. It helps a little bit as a refresher. We can have a skill day, which is a non-contact day, which we would normally be doing contact, and so it just lets you be a little bit more creative.
How was Maggie Matthews feeling? I know it has to be tough for her sitting on that bench.
It is.
on Saturday night.
It is, and she's such a great sport and such a great leader, and you can hear her yelling things at her teammates and still trying to coach and still trying to find ways to provide for her team and give everything she has, even though she's not out there.
Do you take the time to maybe try to work in a new wrinkle or two now that everyone in conference almost has pretty much seen you? You know, do you have something that, okay, it's now time to throw this at them just to confuse them a little bit?
I think that's what the break allows us to do, is where a lot of people don't get to add stuff or put stuff back in. I think we have a break where we can do that.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, guys.